Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Short Attention Span webinar. This week, Kelly, we're going to talk about love. The 5 love languages. And you just told me that you've read that book and you've just given it away.
Oh yeah,
And
it's a great one.
yeah, Gary Chapman, many years ago, wrote a book, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe.
At least, yeah.
He wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages, and it's definitely on my recommended book list, along with the 4 Agreements and A New Earth and things like and how to Win Friends and Influence People. This one is very interesting, and we're going to put a sales spin on this, but the premise of the book is that as people, as human beings, we all receive love in one of 5 ways. So let's talk about 4 of the 5 ways. I'll talk about the 5th one in a second here, but 4 of the 5 ways that we receive love. Now, why is that important, Kelly? It's basically a management thing, correct?
Well, right, because it's really about the giving and the receiving, though, because if you receive it in a certain way, but the other person is giving it in a different way, then there's going to be a disconnect.
Right.
So it's really about understanding what gets you going, and it's also about the other person understanding you and you understanding the other person.
So it's about management, it's about motivation. So if you're my sales rep and you're someone who says, oh, I crave, number 1, words of affirmation.
Affirmation.
Right. Words of affirmation. It's not, oh gosh, Kelly, you're the best. You know, go get them. That's not what I consider to be affirming words. They're nice words. But affirming words are more like, Kelly, I've got faith in you.
Yeah, encouragement. You can do it.
You can do it, right?
You can do it.
Somebody who's running along the sideline of your life, cheering you on. On those days where you come back to the office and you look like this, and someone comes over and sits down and says, been there.
Yeah.
It's going to get better.
Right.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Right.
I've got faith in you, especially when they're brand new or veterans that have lost accounts. Number 1, words of affirmation. Number 2, quality time. In terms of management and motivation, Kelly, what are we talking about here?
Well, it's actually face-to-face or, some sort of communication where you're listening to the manager is listening to the person talking about what has been, what have you been doing? What's been working? Have you tried this more? The best thing possible is to go on sales calls together.
Right.
So he or she goes along with you and makes observations about your performance, talks to you later about this is what you could have done differently, asks you questions about why did you choose to do this, or have you considered doing something like this. It's all about reflection, communication, and time. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
And it might just be a 15-minute phone call every Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Kelly, what are the 3 things that you did last week? What are the 3 things that you're going to make your top priorities this week? Bam, bam, bam. A couple of words of affirmation and gone. Next one is gifts. Now, in the love language world, this would be something like exactly what it sounds. I show you I love you because I just bought you a new pair of earrings or whatever.
Right.
From a motivational management standpoint, I would imagine the way I interpret this is incentives.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, definitely.
So, Kelly, if you hit $20,000 a month, I'm going to reward you with a Starbucks gift card worth $100.
Right. Or contests, we're all going to sit down and make calls on Friday for an hour, and the one who schedules the most appointments wins the afternoon off.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get really creative here. It can be time, it can be money, it can be gift cards, things like that. There's a client that I have that does a couple of really cool things. They have a whole incentive built around Beat Your Best Month.
Yeah.
Which I think is so cool, where they all know what their best month is. And so they're all going oh, if I could just get here, I get this really great
Oh, I like that.
thing. Yeah, it's really, it's funny because I'd never thought of it before, but I think it's really cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then part of this, by the way, is you're motivating somebody who doesn't need the money, perhaps. They're making really good cash, but they still need motivation. You throw something like that out there, you go and buy an iPad or something, and you say, this is what we're going to be working for. They'll go for it because it's there.
Just in their nature. It's just in salespeople's nature to be striving all the time.
And then finally, acts of service. So in the love language of acts of service, your mom makes your bed. Your mom makes sandwiches every day. She is showing you that she loves you. Okay? In a sales standpoint, acts of service might be, I'm kind of having a hard time coming up with this one, Kelly, but would this be kind of like, I'm going to give you a CSR to work with? Or
maybe.
I'm going to write that order up for you, maybe.
Could be, or I'm going to help you put together a sample kit, or I mean, I think it's more, it's again, the love language is a lot of it is sort of symbolic
Yeah,
because again, it's the meaning behind it. So it could even be something like that. I mean, imagine if your boss brought you a cup of coffee,
sure.
even though that sounds like a
It does.
gift. It kind of, I don't know. It's this one. Yeah, I think this one is a little trickier as it pertains to the business world. But here's one way that we used to this manifested in one of the offices I worked in is the salespeople had a day where we brought in grills and we made lunch and served it to all the production people.
Right.
So, and it was really like we had little aprons on and we're asking them what they want and we're, serving it to them at tables. And to them, it was just like they'd never seen anything like it.
That's great.
So it was really like turned everything upside down.
And the fifth love language is physical touch, which probably should stay off this
No, we're
list.
not going there.
So
Unless it's a punch in the shoulder and an attaboy.
way to go, Tiger. Way to go, Tiger. All right. Well, listen, there's a fun little short attention span webinar. Kelly, thank you very much.
Bill, we should probably do another one of these as it pertains to the customers, though, because there's a whole
Sure.
other discussion to be had there in understanding who your customers are and what motivates them. So
Sure. But definitely go buy the book. And either way, most people I know of that get this book immediately hand it to their significant other and say, "Read that."
with highlights and post-its.
Yeah. I don't know if Dr. Chapman meant that, but he sells one book, he sells two, just like that. So anyway, all right, Kelly, thanks very much.
Thanks,
And
Bill.
we'll talk to you all on another short attention span webinar.